Clement. Welcome to the calendar tutorial for the application EqRental Pro. The overview for this application, it was designed for a company that rents any type of equipment to manage that equipment, to monitor and manage the clients that are coming in, to arrange and organize for service on that equipment, to provide any support as far as the client is concerned using a calendar, which this is the main calendar for the application. On the other side of the application are the administrative tools to manage all the rentals. Let's talk about the calendar to start with. The calendar, what it does is it has the ability to have multiple calendars. There's an administrative level. If you wanted to add users to log on and manage their own calendar, you could do that by adding them to the users, which is over here. Under the question mark, there's a complete explanation of how to add users in the help files and to manage and monitor anything that came with the calendar. Now, I'll be explaining the additional options that were added to the calendar for this application. For example, some of the items at the top where there is video help. By clicking this icon right here, it would start the video that you're now watching. This would take you to the main menu screen for the application side that is on the other side of the calendar. This button here would open the device menus. For example, if you were looking at this on a PC, Mac, iPad, or iPhone, or other device that was from a server on a browser, you would use this button to show and hide the menus for those different functions. This application has the ability to have different calendars for which items you want to monitor and manage. The app comes with a contact cal, which is a calendar screen that is separate from the one you're viewing. So if you're trying to make contacts or manage contacts that are based on your rental company, they would be in that calendar and assigned to it. There's a delivery calendar for items that are going to be delivered that are maybe large items that the client cannot pick up at your location. Or it could be a lot of items that are being sent out by a delivery truck. You can schedule those here. You can manage the dispatch. If you have a truck, they could use this screen to see their dispatch and requirements for deliveries and pickups. There's a move for in case items are needed to be moved from one location to another, from a client location to a different one. This is a pickup calendar. This is for items that are at a location that are scheduled to be picked up at a certain time at the end of the rental. This is the standard rental calendar where you can see all items that are going to be rented by the day, week, month, year, or on the list view. And then there's a service calendar that is for calendar appointments that are coming back in, equipment for service when they're being returned can be scheduled, and service can be conducted as per the scheduled side of the calendar, and also for in the actual application side where you monitor and manage your actual service. Let's take a look at some of the things on the calendar. It shows the date that you're viewing. If you click on this button, it will indicate or move you to the today, whatever the date it is. This will go back to the previous date, forward a date. This checkbox here will show you all items. If you keep it checked, it'll show you also the completed items for items that are done and have been finished. If you uncheck it, it will only show current items on any calendar. On this one, we also showed where you can pick between different calendars. For example, if I go down to the rental and I click on it, you don't see any change because this item is actually scheduled as a rental. And for example, if I went to the pickup and looked at it, it would disappear. Going back to the administrative level, it shows all the appointments, so I can see that at this level. If you want to search for a certain item in a calendar, you type it in and click the search, and it'll show those items. On the day calendar, you'll see that it lists all the items for that date. And down in the bottom lower corner of the application, you'll see where there is a calendar, and any date item that has an underline in it shows that there's a scheduled appointment on those days. And it's under one of the items, for example, that we just showed you, like a delivery or a move or a pickup. To see the month calendar, you click on the month link, and it shows all items for the month that are scheduled, and you can see them from here. In this particular case, the narrative is rental, 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 rental. So all these are items. They will stack up, and of course you can see over here there was a service scheduled. So there was a service, so they'll show those as well. And this is on the main administrator's calendar, or it could be on a user calendar for any user you add to your system. When you're looking at this calendar or any calendar, you'll see that there's a plus sign. If you click that plus sign, it will open up a new appointment schedule so you can schedule a new appointment. Or you can click the date, and the date will bring you to whatever this event is for that date. And if you put it over the top of it, it'll actually show you the information about that scheduled appointment. On the year calendar, which is available but probably not all that useful, it shows you all the events on a year basis so you can jump around and look at those. And then there's a list view that shows you all the current and past calendar events and their schedules, who assigned them, what date they started, what date they were completed, and the title for it, and whether or not they're completed or not. Let's go back to the day calendar so I can show you over in this screen. You can see where there was a date item that was expired. What that means is basically this item was not completed and the reservation that was set was not completed. You can see by the pop-up, the information shows what the reservation was for and the date. And what that basically means is that this was not completed. If you click on that, it will open up that edit appointment screen so you can edit that appointment. For example, if I come down to this one, you can see that there was the guy, I used a default first person record test, and it was just for testing, and it was scheduled for 3/29 and ended on 3/30 and is assigned by me with a medium priority. Now, as far as priorities, this little icon right here shows normal, medium, and high priority. These were added to the record, and you add new appointments by clicking the plus either here or in any one of the calendar screens to add a new line for one single appointment. Now, for each event that you have, whatever it is as far as what the calendars are concerned with, you can add a rental or a move or a replace or what it might be by clicking the plus and creating it. Now, this one is already created, but let's go look at it. This screen is the appointment for edit appointment. And on this screen, I'm not going to explain it right now, but I'll come back to it later. When you actually start the screen, it will have the narrative that you put in as far as the rental, in this case, for Ben Franklin. And there's a drop down in here for the customer in case you want to find the customer or his company to add that additional. For right now, let's just talk about the calendar and what it does. Once an appointment is completed, you can either show it completed here to conclude it, or if it was required where it was something that was not going to be finished or it required that you get rid of that appointment, you can delete it from the screen by clicking the orange X mark here. This is the same thing on the appointment screen I just opened. There is a user assignment. For example, when you add a user, you can add them in this screen by clicking the plus. This is all explained in the help file, how you add users, assign usernames and passwords. Now, all the current calendar screens that are assigned, as you can see here, have their own username and password. These are provided to you when you buy the application. I will give you the usernames and passwords for each one of these, and we can also set up additional ones using our support that is you never have to pay for as far as this kind of setup. Also, if you have technical questions on the application, those are always provided at no cost for technical support. The multi-user, multi-language part of this is not really used by the general user, but it can be by the administrator, where you can set the language for the screens, or if you go down to the preferences, you can actually change some of the preferences in the screen that provide that you can change the icons that are used on the calendar. And in this case, these are the calendar items that I've added, and you can add additional ones. And again, this is shown to you how to do this in the help. It also explains how the calendar is identifying different dates and different priorities. And you also have the ability, if you read the help, to show every time an event changes, you can send an email that is dependent upon the device that you're using. Sometimes the devices do not support this. Okay, now the last thing is if you need to relog on in a different user, you can exit by clicking re-log in, and you can change from one user to another. Normally the administrator would do this to check on other user accounts and make changes. This is also again explained under the help at the top of the screen. At the top of the screen you'll notice that there is a menu, main menu. This is the main menu. We're just going to flash to it and come back. This is the main menu that shows the application that you're viewing, and this is the application side for the EqRental Pro 12. On each one of the screens on this side of the application, if you click on the little round icon, there's a help screen tutorial just like the one you're viewing right now. To return to the app menu or the appointment screen, you click here and then click closed. Now if you're closing the application, you have to come back through this screen from the main side that I just showed you, like the menu. You click closed here and it closes the application. That's how we completed this tutorial.